Success has a specific scent. It smells like expensive coffee, late-night electricity, and the crisp pages of a planner filled to the brim. In our modern world, the workaholic is the last remaining saint. We canonize the CEO who sleeps 4 hours a night. We applaud the entrepreneur who sacrifices his youth for a balance sheet. We see a man who is disciplined, focused, and undeniably in progress. Society looks at this person and sees strength. But today, we are going to look closer. We are going to peel back the gold-plated mask of the hustler to see the trembling architecture underneath. Because here is the uncomfortable truth that no LinkedIn post will ever tell you. The workaholic does not work too much because he is ambitious. He works too much because he is terrified. He is not running toward a dream. He is running away from a ghost. Think about your own life for a moment. Do you feel a strange, cold prickle of anxiety the moment you sit on the couch without a laptop? Do you feel a wave of guilt when you watch the sunset without thinking about how to monetize it? This is the invisible leash. For the high performer, doing nothing isn't just a waste of time. It is a threat to their very existence. What if your discipline is actually a cage? What if your productivity is just a sophisticated form of emotional flight? We've been told that hard work pays off, but we were never told what it pays for. For many of us, it pays for the silence we are too afraid to hear. This is the illusion of ambition. It looks like a climb to the summit, but for the workaholic, it's a treadmill designed to keep them from ever having to stand still. Because the moment they stand still, they have to feel. And feeling is the one thing they cannot afford to do. To understand this, we must step into the world of Carl Jung. Jung spoke of the persona, the social mask we wear to navigate the world. It is the version of ourselves we present to be liked, respected, or feared. For the workaholic, the persona has grown so large that it has swallowed the human being underneath. The individual has fused their ego with their performance. In this psychological state, I am is replaced by I produce. You are no longer a person who happens to be an architect, a coder, or a creator. You are the output. This creates a fragile, artificial sense of self-worth. It is a high-stakes gamble where your value as a human being is reset to zero every single morning. If you don't win today, you don't deserve to exist today. But what lies beneath this mask? Jung would call it the shadow. In the shadow of the workaholic lies a deep, repressed fear of insignificance. It is the belief that being ordinary is a death sentence. There is an unconscious conviction that says, if I am not productive, I am nothing. If I am not achieving, I am unlovable. Work, in this context, becomes a powerful anesthetic. It is the ultimate distraction. When you are buried under emails, deadlines, and strategic goals, you don't have to face the loneliness in your marriage. You don't have to process the grief of a lost parent. You don't have to confront the existential dread of a life without inherent meaning. The workaholic is addicted to doing because being is too painful. When you work, you matter. When you stop, you disappear into the void of your own inadequacy. This is not a career path. It is a defense mechanism. It is a sophisticated way of staying busy so that the soul never has a chance to speak. Because if the soul spoke, it might tell you that you are chasing a ghost. The world rewards workaholics. It gives them promotions, medals, and applause. But the universe demands a different kind of payment. The cost of this addiction is a silent, creeping bankruptcy of the spirit. We call it burnout, but that term is too clinical. It's actually a soul out. The first thing to go is the capacity for genuine connection. The workaholic is never truly present. Even when they are at dinner with a loved one, their mind is elsewhere, calculating the next move, checking the phantom vibrations of a phone in their pocket. They become functional humans, but relational ghosts. They love their families by proxy, providing the paycheck while withholding the presence. Then comes the fragility of the self. Because their identity is tied to an external metric, any setback feels like a total annihilation of the soul. A missed target isn't just a business failure, it is a personal judgment. This leads to a life of perpetual tension. You are always one bad quarter away from a mental collapse. You are living in a house made of glass, throwing stones at your own reflection. But the most tragic cost is the loss of the vast now. The workaholic lives entirely in the future. The next launch, the next milestone, the next million. They are never allowed to inhabit the present because the present is where the inadequacy lives. They are hungry ghosts, eating the future to avoid the hunger of the now. They have forgotten how to play, how to wonder, and how to rest. And without rest, there is no reflection. Without reflection, there is no growth. There is only the mechanical repetition of effort until the machine finally breaks. Ask yourself, if your job title was taken away tomorrow, who would be left? If the answer is, I don't know, then you are not a worker. You are a prisoner. You have built a monument to your own avoidance, and you are calling it a career. So how do we break the cycle? How do we stop the treadmill without falling off the edge? The answer isn't to stop working. It is to stop hiding. It requires what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming who you actually are beyond your social utility. You must begin by separating your value from your volume. You have to sit with the shadow. You have to face that quiet, terrifying voice that says you aren't enough, and instead of silencing it with more work, you have to listen to it. You have to realize that you are worthy of breath and space simply because you exist, not because you performed. This is the hardest work you will ever do. It is much easier to work 80 hours a week than it is to sit in silence for 20 minutes and tolerate your own company. Liberation starts when you allow yourself to be unproductive and realize that the world didn't end. It starts when you reclaim your time not as a resource to be spent, but as a life to be lived. The true mark of a free man is the ability to walk away from the desk and feel no shame, to look at a blank day and see an opportunity for being, rather than a vacuum that must be filled. You are not a machine. You are a biological miracle that was not designed to be a servant to a spreadsheet. Your worth is not your output. Your value is not your velocity. And if you stop working, I promise you, you do not stop existing. In fact, that might be the very moment you finally start to live. Reconnect with the person behind the mask. Let the persona crumble a little bit, because it's through the cracks in your productivity that the light of your actual life finally gets in.